And don't forget to like and subscribe.
Hello there. Just finished We Are Legion, We Are Bob. I believe it's the Bobiverse. It's a 3-book series by Dennis E. Taylor. Book 1, We Are Legion, We Are Bob. So now this book I find fascinating just with the fact that it kind of goes into depth on space travel and things like that you wouldn't think of, because normally like in Star Wars or Star Trek, they just travel from planet to planet. Everything is the same throughout, but this one actually goes into the effects of light speed and how time transitions differently throughout all that. And that's like, I remember researching that for fun at one point in time, and it's just like, wow, this is mind-boggling. It is mind-boggling because if you think about it, the rotation of the planet revolving around the sun is what dictates time. But if you're going in a straight trajectory at a different angle, it's just like, it's insane that you would be sharing the same amount of time, but for each group's different time will have passed. And it goes into, not really in depth, but it basically talks about it and references it over and over and over again. Just reminding you that, oh, okay, this is what's going on. This is what's going on. This is what's going on. So it's, I really did enjoy that. So, okay, the main character of the story, his name is Bob, and he's basically walking out of a meeting where he basically signed his brain away, his body away. He was going to make his brain, his head cryogenically frozen so he could be revived when technology came around to clone him. However, the world didn't go in his favor, and he was a complete nerd. Like, after signing that, he went to a convention. So it was just like, okay, that's someone I can actually relate to. I actually get this. A lot of the humor, a lot of the story, it's just all nerd related. So it's like, okay, I absolutely understand this. So he literally gets hit by a car, and the next thing he knows, he's waking up as, well, things didn't go his way. They weren't able to create him a body. The world was, well, ruined for all intents and purposes. And he's basically turned into a computer. And it's his job to go out into the world, go out into the galaxy and find a place for humanity to settle, because the Earth is being destroyed. This it's funny because I think the author doesn't really like religion at all, which makes sense because any religion to the extreme is awful, is absolutely awful. In the exclusivity of it, I mean, that's why I hate certain products. I hate exclusivity, and it's just like, yeah, I can understand that, but it was just like, really? It's like, okay, maybe given a few more years, jaded, things like that. It's just like, okay, you have to get past, but you can read a reader's bias into things, and I was like, I can see it, but I don't entirely see it. I think most people are really rational, contrary to what extremists will have you believe. So it was just like, okay, whatever. But it's just like the fact that he goes out into the world, finding planets, going into just doing that, creating more versions of himself. And as he finds out, he has the existential dilemma where he's basically like, every time he creates a second version of himself, like another copy of himself, it is different than the previous copy. They start forming different personalities. So it makes him start to wonder, does he actually have a soul? Is he really who he says he is? Even though every single copy of him is him, but they're all having new experiences from the moment they split. So I absolutely did like that kind of mindset, the existential crisis some people like you would have to deal with, for that kind of mindset where you make clones of yourself and having to deal with clones of yourself. And one of the best rationalizations I had was, or the best things that he put out was like Castaway. I remember that. And the same explanation he had in the book was like, yep, I remember having that same thought, that exact same thought when I saw that movie. It just seems more comfortable that way. Of course, you do enjoy contact with other people, but it's not needed. It's not needed for certain personalities. It's just nice to have. So I gotta say, this story, I don't know exactly, because of space travel, they're finding planets, apparently several other territories on Earth sent out probes as well. However, he's at war with one of them, the Brazilian probe. Yeah, he's at war with the Brazilian probe. Anytime they find it, they destroy him, or he destroys, like Bob will either destroy the Brazilian or the Brazilian will destroy Bob. It's constant in space, and yeah, it always throws me though every time they're talking about it took him 15 years to get to a place, but by the time he got there, the Brazilian would have been there for 36 years already because time moves differently depending, and it's just like, oh yeah, it keeps reminding you over and over and over again. But every single Bob has a different job. Like one goes back to Earth to make sure it's not completely eradicated because there was a nuclear war after Bob had left. There's another one who's basically stationed in one territory trying to turn it into a habitable planet. There's another one looking for more planets to inhabit. There's another one that found a civilized like one in a hunter-gatherer stage, a species in a hunter-gatherer stage, and he just stays there to monitor them, as well as trying to guide them into, it's just like, oh, for Star Trek fans, you really are not following the, so it's just like, okay, yeah. Yeah, so I found that interesting. Then finally it goes to the very end. It kind of, in the last few chapters, it covers one of the Bobs who was created in the very beginning, who just took off, left, didn't want to be around anyone. He took off, left, and then it goes back to him, and he comes across an actual intelligent alien life form that is trying to eradicate everything. Literally just trying to, more like Independence Day aliens, if anything. Because they had the alien in the book, and I was like, really? The way you're explaining it, it's more like Independence Day aliens. Yeah, but I enjoy the book. I don't think I explained much of anything because really it's just not really objective based. He goes out into the galaxy to find habitable planets for humanity. And then he continues with that goal even though he already believes humanity to be eradicated. And then he creates copies of himself, goes back to Earth, and all various versions of him start spreading out into different pockets of the galaxy, which I think that would be awesome. Oh, yeah, but enough said. I'm actually really do enjoy this book. Really do enjoy this book. Especially all the nerd additions to this. Thank you all for watching. Talk to you next time. Toodles.